I had begun to notice a pattern over the past few months. My wife, who once insisted on sharing every detail of her day, had started staying out late with increasing frequency. At first, I brushed it off as work or social obligations, convincing myself that I was being paranoid. But tonight, the unease in my chest was stronger than ever. She had promised she'd be home by 8, yet the clock ticked past midnight, and I was left staring at the empty living room. I tried calling her repeatedly, but each ring went unanswered. Anxiety gnawed at me, mixing with a sense of dread I couldn't shake. Finally, just as I was about to give in to panic, my phone buzzed. It wasn't her. It was a message from a number I didn't recognize. The text read, "I think it's time you knew the truth." My hands trembled as I stared at the words, unsure if I wanted to read further. The message contained details about my wife's night out, details only someone close to her could know. According to him, she hadn't been at a friend's gathering, as she had told me. Instead, she had spent hours with this man, meeting in places I would never have guessed. I felt my chest tighten as disbelief collided with the stark reality forming before my eyes. Could this really be happening? I spent the next hour pacing the apartment, rereading the messages, each one more damning than the last. The man claimed he hadn't intended to get involved, that he only reached out because he couldn't bear to see me hurt further. Anger flared inside me. Anger at my wife for betraying my trust, and at this stranger for showing me a truth I never wanted to confront. Yet underneath it all, a strange numbness settled in, as if my mind was preparing for the confrontation I had avoided for so long. When my wife finally returned, she was laughing as if nothing had happened, completely unaware of the messages that awaited me. I greeted her with a quiet, icy calm, asking about her night in a tone that made her pause. She laughed off my concern at first, but I could see the flicker of guilt in her eyes. I didn't yell. I didn't confront her immediately. I simply waited, letting her realize that her secret had been uncovered in the most unavoidable way. That night we didn't speak much. I couldn't decide if I wanted to scream, cry, or leave. Her betrayal was no longer a shadow. I held it in my hands through someone else's confession. Sleep came fitfully, haunted by images and words I wished I could erase. And though I didn't have answers yet, one thing was certain: nothing would ever feel the same between us again.